Hello, and welcome to In Case You Missed It, Black Audacity Magazine Style. Now, today we will be bringing you up to date on some of last week's and this week's hot topics that you may have missed. I'm Lawanda Morris, CEO of Black Audacity Magazine, and your host for this evening. Now, we will be covering several different headlines, including but not limited to the passing of Irish Grinstead of R&B group 702. We'll talk about how Trump encouraged the House of Representative Republicans to open up an impeachment inquiry into current President Joe Biden, and how President Biden and his administration is taking steps to making medications more affordable for people with Medicare. We'll also talk about Jamaican Olympic athletic star Shericka Jackson and how amazing she is. And then we'll get into some breaking news, including that F-35 fighter jet that went missing. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. Went missing. We'll explain. So pour yourself your favorite drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. In political news, now, former President Donald Trump has been pressuring the Republicans in the House of Representatives to impeach current President Joe Biden. Now, I know you've been hearing all of these stories, but according to CNN and apparently according to Trump himself, Trump has not been quiet about wanting President Joe Biden out of office before their potential rematch in 2024. Trump has shared his feelings on interviews, but also with members of the House of Representatives. And he's even taken to social media, his Truth platform, to express his opinion. Getting Biden out of office is not the only thing that is on Trump's mind. His 90 plus criminal indictments, other lawsuits, two impeachments that he had to endure under Democratic control of the House, have all been on his mind. So, anywho, some Republicans think that this would be a good idea to impeach President Joe Biden, but others do not agree. They think it's a terrible idea. Even Tom Cole of Oklahoma told CNN that it's a bad idea, it's bad politics to impeach Biden, but he still remains open to the idea of looking into the Bidens just to see if there's something there. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has officially opened up an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. He did so without taking a vote on the House floor, which is traditionally what happens when one party or another decides to open up an impeachment inquiry into a president. That did not happen here. Trump's focus is also on getting back into office by any means necessary. And it would help him avoid, should he get back into office, some of the pending charges against him if he were to, let's say, pardon himself through federal pardon. He would be shielded through some of these federal charges that he's been facing, but it would help him not even a little bit under state charges, like what's going on down in Georgia with prosecutor Fani Willis. So what that means is Fani Willis is listening. She's actually really recently filed for a gag order to be placed on Trump, and the judge just recently agreed with her that there should be a gag order placed on him, but he still hasn't been holding his tongue. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. If he does not abide by this gag order, what happens? Because we all know former President Donald Trump does not hold his tongue. He speaks whatever words he thinks, and so we'll see how this all plays out in the media. Even more recently, he went on social media to talk about General Mark Milley and implied that Mark Milley should face death because of some of the actions he's recently taken, or actually not recently, but some of the actions that he took while Trump was in office. Milley said he was upholding the Constitution. Trump says Milley should potentially be put to death for some of those actions. Anywho, we'll see if Trump can hold his tongue under this present gag order that has been issued in the Georgia case. But with all of that said, this is a great reason why it's time for me to reiterate how important voting is. Voting matters. If you have not voted, or if you have not or any past presidential elections, this is the best time to get into the race. This is going to be a tight race. All of the races are very serious, but it's time to get registered to vote. People, our ancestors fought and died for the right for you to have to vote. So I need you to take it very, very seriously and get registered to vote today if you haven't already been registered, and get into the fight by voting. Vote for everything that comes up in your local jurisdiction, from president all the way down to dog catcher. We want you voting. So hashtag vote or die. And you can check out the website whenweallvote.com to get more information on how to get registered to vote. And also remember, take a few friends with you when you go down to vote in the upcoming elections. Now, in health news, I mentioned this at the top of the hour. Thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act that passed last year, President Biden and his administration are really hoping to get prices of prescription medication lowered for people who have Medicaid. The act seeks to lower prescription medication costs by allowing Medicare to negotiate prices with drug companies. That's really how it's going to work. It plans to put an inflation cap on medication prices and lower out-of-pocket cost expenses for Medicare recipients. NPR reported that Biden has released his list of the first 10 drugs that Medicare will target for price cuts. The administration did, such as blood thinners, diabetic medication, medications used to treat autoimmune diseases. These changes would bring relief to those paying out-of-pocket costs for these types of medications. In 2022, the total cost of medications was about $3.4 billion, according to the government. Now, that's astronomical. So this is great news that the Biden administration is getting into the game, trying to reduce the cost for these folks who need these medications. Now, negotiations would need to happen over the next few years, and Biden is very hopeful and says he won't back down. But with every pull, of course, there comes a push. Drug companies have been fighting against the price cuts in Congress and now in courts by bringing up arguments such as the provisions are unconstitutional. In fact, Amy Klobuchar of the United States Senate stated that the list features blockbuster drugs, and reducing their costs will make a difference to our seniors, and eventually to other people who rely on the drugs. Even though the average prices for prescription medications are higher in the United States than in other countries, NPR reported that they already have rebates and discounts for those type of drugs. So make sure you look them up and try to get more information. There are other drugs that are being listed or being touted that the cost will come down by 2024, including diabetic types of drugs. The government is starting from scratch with this type of policy. So they've been going back and forth with the pharmaceutical companies about research and costs. Other countries have already put in place methods that determine prices. Let's hope and pray that our government can follow suit and do the same and get the cost of these medications down, starting for our seniors, but then expands to everyone else. So be sure to look up and do your own research and homework on which drugs have already been given rebates and discounts, so that you can make sure you are not paying a larger price than what you need to pay until the federal government can get this figured out and sorted out, so that we all pay less for our medications. In sports, Shericka Jackson, a Jamaican Olympic athlete, won 100 and 200-meter runs in the Diamond League final that took place in Eugene, Oregon on Saturday, September the 16th and Sunday, September 17th. For those who don't know, you all should, but for those who don't, the Diamond League is an annual series of elite track and field athletic competitions. Now, Jackson won on Saturday for the 100-meter run with a total of 10.70 seconds, taking the title from long-time leader Tai Lu. She turned around and did it again on Sunday for the 200-meter run with a total of 21.57 seconds, taking the title from the late and great Tori Bowie, who died this past April, which will now make her a world champion and the fastest woman alive. Now, Shericka has told multiple news media outlets in interviews that she is happy, healthy, and so extremely grateful. All right, so you go, girl. You do your thing, Shericka. We are so proud of you. Keep up the great work. Now, a little football for the guys and some gals. But in NFL news, we had some of the most lopsided historical scores in a few games this past weekend in the NFL, all during week 3. So to start, the Chiefs beat the Bears 41-10. Now, what people are wondering about this game is whether or not Taylor Swift has something to do with that win. She's reportedly dating Travis Kelce, and she was seen at the game sitting next to Travis's mother, rooting for the Chiefs. Who knows what rumors are true, what rumors are not true, but stay tuned. Now, the next game was the Bills beat the Commanders 37-3. That was a huge spread. The Dolphins beat the Broncos 70-20, where the offense combined for 700 plus yards in a record-breaking win. That was insane. I don't know how many of you saw the game, but that was nuts. Now, 70 points is the most points scored in a game since 1966. That's incredible. The Arizona Cardinals shocked the Cowboys by beating them 28-16. And of course, my team, the New England Patriots, beat the New York Jets in a very low scoring game, 15-10. But hey, we'll take all the wins we get. And in college football news, Oregon defeated Colorado 42-6. Colorado University was beat 42-6. Now, I'm sure Deion Sanders, their coach now at Colorado, had a whole lot to say. He's been on social media. I'm sure he had a whole lot of words to speak to his team. But I would just say, stay tuned. Yes, this was a defeat. Not only was this a defeat, even Deion Sanders said they got their butts whooped, and he didn't even use the word butts. So we'll just stay tuned to see how Deion and his team bounces back from this loss. In celebrity news, Irish Grinstead, one of the 3 beloved members of the iconic R&B group 702, passed away on September the 16th. She was only 43. Her sister and bandmate, Lamisha, took to Instagram with the news, and in a statement, she said, "It is with great sadness that I have to let you know that my beautiful sister and friend has passed away. She had a long battle, and she is finally at peace. That girl was as bright as a star." Now, although the cause of death is currently unknown, the group did announce in December of last year that Irish was taking a leave of absence due to serious medical issues. Irish also had, for those who don't know, a twin sister named Orish, who she also died, unfortunately, at a very young age, at the age of 27, back in 2008. Again, when she was just 27. Orish was also a founding member of the group 702, and 702 is known for many beloved hits, including their classics, Get It Together, Where My Girls At, and Stilo. I like to send my deepest condolences and sympathies to all of the family and friends of Irish, and may her light and life live on through her music. And finally, in some breaking news and hot topics now, an F-35B Lightning II fighter jet went missing last week after the pilot ejected himself out of the aircraft. Now, he's fine, but the military is calling this incident a mishap. The jet took off on Sunday, September the 17th, and the debris from the jet crash site was finally discovered Monday, September the 18th, 2 hours northeast of Joint Base Charleston, North Carolina, which is what NBC News reported. Now, the pilot was taken to a local medical center where he was ruled to be in stable condition. Now, the last known position of the jet before the pilot ejected was near Lake Moultrie and Lake Marion. There are a lot of questions surrounding this one, but still no answers, of course, which has caused a lot of backlash. I love what Republican Representative Nancy Mace wrote on a post on her social media last week saying, how in the hell do you lose a F-35? How is there not a tracking device? And we're asking the public to what? To find a jet and turn it in? The F-35 is reported to be one of the most advanced, most lethal, stealthy, expensive, and survivable aircrafts in the world, over $100 million. Officials are investigating the cause of the pilot needing to eject, and then the subsequent crash of the plane after it flew for miles on its own. What happened in the first place? That's the question they're trying to get the answers to. So we can look forward to a long investigation where we will more than likely not get any answers from the federal government, but that doesn't mean we won't seek them. Now, in other breaking news, if Republicans in the House of Representatives do not agree soon, and I mean soon, like today, soon, they might be responsible for yet again another government shutdown. Now, let's all hope that they can come together and agree on a budget by this coming Saturday, September the 30th. Now, the United Auto Workers Union is saying that there is progress being made in their negotiations in terms of the union strike that's currently going on, although the strike has expanded to include more locations. So let's hope that they can come to an agreement really soon as well, so those folks can get back to work. Now, Biden has recently signed the EO mandating that medical bills be removed from people's credit, which means a lot of people will see their credit scores go up. So put a pin in that and keep your eye on it. Speaking of the White House, President Biden has created the first of its kind federal office on gun violence prevention within the White House. Now, VP Harris will lead this effort, and they will do research and provide support to victims and families of gun violence in order to further our knowledge and to get us somewhere with gun violence. We haven't really moved on this issue politically because it's so politically divisive, but hopefully in the federal government forming this department, we'll start to see some progress in moving forward and hopefully, prayerfully, less gun violence. Now we go out of this world. After 7 years, NASA returns the largest ever asteroid sample to the Earth after 7 years in covering 4 billion miles while collecting space materials that could help teach scientists and then the rest of us about some of the original materials that formed and existed when the Earth first was formed. Now, further updates on the Hollywood writers and writer strike. The screenwriters and studios have reached a tentative deal to end the several months long strike after 5 days of negotiations. Now, picketing has stopped. They're looking further into higher pay, protections against AI, and higher royalty pays as well. Now, that said, the Hollywood actors are still on strike until the studios reach an agreement with their unions. Now, finally, I want to send out some words of encouragement and protection to Tamika Lowry, the co-founder of Until Freedom. If you don't know Tamika, you should. What rock have you been living under if you don't know who she is? But I do want to send thoughts and prayers with her family, with her and her family, as she's been receiving tons of death threats. May God keep her safe always, and keep your head up, sis. Keep doing the work that you're doing. You're doing God's work. We support what you're doing, and we do not support threats of any kind by anyone. And so we hope and pray that Tamika stays safe. Now, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed today's segment of In Case You Missed It, Black Audacity Style. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to like this video in order to see more Black Audacity content. I'll see you here, same place, same time, next Monday. I'm LaWanda Morris, the host of In Case You Missed It, Black Audacity Style, where we are unapologetically and unambiguously Black. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.